Hello, everybody. It's time for another episode of Build Crew Live, which is now called Craft and Chaos because basically coding with agents is craft plus chaos. So we're excited. And I am joined by the illustrious Dario, who's one of our amazing engineers. Dario, how you doing?
Hello, Ryan. Doing great. How are you?
Good. It's more towards the evening where you are, so I appreciate you making time. You also look like you're in a very zen environment, so I'm happy for you on that.
Thank you.
So everybody watching the show would love to hear where you're calling in from. So pop in the comments if you're joining us on YouTube or X or wherever you are. Say hello. Let us know where you're joining us from. Also, maybe what you're coding right now, what agents you're using, what models you're using. We'd just love to hear from you. So pop that in the comments. We'll call some of that out. We've got a bunch of fun stuff lined up for the show today. So we've got some new sections that we're going to launch. We're going to be doing things like prompt duel at dawn. We're going to be talking about a secret word, which I'll explain in a minute. We're doing probably find a show, which is a little feature reveal. And we're also doing Code the Impossible. And Dario's going to do a little live hacking with Java, which is interesting. So we've got some folks already joining us from Chile. Engineer Wannabe, appreciate you dropping by. Boston, David, appreciate you joining. You're on my neck of the woods on the East Coast, on cold East Coast America. So tell us where you're calling in from in the comments. We'll call you out. And also, if you have any thoughts or questions about coding with agents, that's all we think about. So first of all, I want to encourage you to join Build Crew. So if you're writing code with agents, it's a steep learning curve. You're always learning. Every day is different. There's new tooling every week. There's new models being dropped. It feels like every other day. So join Build Crew. It's free. Just go to buildcrew.team. You can be using any agent. You could be using AMP, Cursor, Claude Code, Windsurf, whatever floats your boat. You're welcome to join Build Crew. So join it, and we also give you $100 in AMP credit for free. So just go to buildcrew.team, and we'll welcome you into the community. We've got some more friends joining from Spain. Prenova, appreciate you being here. Once you join Build Crew, and the community's getting big, we have over 1,000 members now. We've got an active Discord. Jump on in and say hello in the Discord. Another fun thing we're starting to do during Craft and Chaos is we've got a secret word. When I say that word, then you have 60 seconds to go to a URL and enter in the secret word. And the secret word for today is Lego. You can probably tell, like, I'm a fan of Lego. It's kind of everywhere. Dario, I bet you're a Lego fan.
I did grow up with a huge box of Legos. So, I think I got out of Legos once it started to be all about like very specific sets where you need like super special blocks and stuff like that.
Yeah, I grew up with Space. That was like my jam, the kind of gray and blue set, and I just had a big box. Yeah, and I would make all sorts of new ships, but now you don't have to have any imagination. You just like get things out of a box and you get that. So, boo. Woven Thorns is here from Albuquerque. Appreciate you joining us. So when I say the word Lego, it's going to be sometime during the show. So you have to be listening to the whole show. It's going to be random. You'll have 60 seconds to enter in the secret word into a URL. So listen tight, be ready. When I say the word Lego later on, you got 60 seconds, and then I'll pick one of you randomly to win $500 in AMP credit. So, okay. So we talked about the different segments of the show. We talked about joining Build Crew. We talked about the secret word challenge. So you can win $500 in AMP. And I think it's probably time to get cranking with the news. So let's get to it. This is news we definitely verified, taking note before everything changes. Everything is changing all the time. So I want to talk about two stories today. Mistral, the amazing French lab, has launched a new model called DevStral 2, and they've launched a new CLI coding tool called Vibe CLI. They are, as I said, from France. It's kind of fun to see a non-US lab pushing hard and open sourcing some amazing models. DevStool 2 is a specialized coding model aimed at rivaling agents or rivaling giants like Anthropic, OpenAI, the others. Alongside Mistral Vibe, it's essentially a natural language CLI for coding. I gave it a little try. It was interesting, fun to try it. Obviously, since it's open source, it's super cheap to use, which is good. So Dario, what kind of open models are you using, if any? Walk us through some of your thoughts about this stuff.
Yeah, open models is a good question. I sometimes use open code to play around with stuff, but mostly I've played around with the diffusion models because I feel like there's something there that we haven't fully explored yet. But I haven't run a model locally yet because everything I hear about stuff like this, like, it's just not good enough. So I'm kind of, since there's so much changing, I'm basically relying on like somebody will tell me if it's good, and then I'll dig deep.
And then you'll pay attention to that. Prenova is saying it's very important for the EU to have its own lab. I agree. As someone who lived outside the US for 12 years, I have an amazing British wife and British kids. Yeah, I'm big on there being a little more diversity when it comes to, who's building models, the fact that they're open sourced. I think this is a very good thing. And we've got some more friends. Speaking of international, we've got XFL Diaz from Mexico. So thanks for calling in. I don't use a ton of open weight models. Again, like you, it's like there's so much happening. I tend to be an AMP all day, and now I tend to be using Opus 4.5. And so it's just so damn good that the bar now for an open model to pass is so high that I'm happy to pay for Opus 4.5. So, but then again, I know there's a ton of people that are more price conscious that want a fast model that is really good, and open weight models are great for that. So
yeah, Opus really felt like a step change again in terms of like, I don't want to go back to whatever it was before.
I know. It's so today I was shipping a big feature where you compare financial affidavits because in my startup it's about divorce, and so you have to compare your financial affidavit, which is like a really complex document. And I remember thinking, oh, this is gonna be a really hard feature. Like it's gonna be kind of a grind. I'm gonna have to guide the model a lot. But I use the new plan mode and AMP, which Nikolai's been working on. Planned it, then kicked it off. I did probably 5 handoffs, and it was done. And I was like, really? Is it really done? So, and it was. So that was exciting. Opus 4.5. Okay, so got a couple more friends joining. Kevin Tan, thanks for joining. Noah is here. Appreciate you stopping by. And then Prenova is saying still GPT 5.1 high, and later on Thursday GPT 5.2. So we'll see. Maybe he knows something we don't know. Okay, next news item. I expect you to get really excited about this. TypeScript dethroned Python as GitHub's most used language, fueled by AI.
Monocultures.
Fueled by AI tools. So GitHub's 2025 Octoverse report shows TypeScript overtaking Python and JavaScript in August, driven by AI's influence on language choice, and over 25% year-on-year spike in commits, nearly 1 billion total. So with AI agents now mainstream and Copilot free onboarding millions, this shift signals typed languages rise for scalable, error-resistant code, especially in AI-heavy apps. It's reshaping dev preferences with 81% of contributions now in private repos amid booming activity. I know you're a man of many languages and you are a refined gentleman. I am a one language guy now. All I write is TypeScript for this literal reason. Like I used to love Python and then, I kind of was forced to learn TypeScript because of Next.js, and now I actually love it. So what do you think about TypeScript just being so dominant now?
So,
you're sad.
Yeah, I feel like TypeScript is in a way like local maximum that we should, well, hopefully we'll get out of. So to get effective agents, you need closed feedback loops, and having something like the TypeScript type checker is like, it's the first step to have a closed feedback loop. But one thing that bugs me about TypeScript is that all the focus is on what happens at compile time and static analysis. And the whole part of you actually should run your program tends to get forgotten. And
you have to use the thing.
You have to use the thing. Yeah. Also, TypeScript types don't exist at runtime. So you invest all of this effort into like specifying stuff, and then you throw it away once you start your program. So that's what I'm not a huge fan of. I feel like it sucks all of the air out of the room to explore more different approaches where you give the agent more tools to actually talk to a running program.
Yeah.
And because that's, in the browser, we all know how it works. Everybody wants to connect the agent to the browser, and then, it can evaluate JavaScript on the page. And that's a good example of actually leveraging the dynamism of languages. And I hope that at some point we'll reach peak TypeScript, and then we have the freedom and space to worry more about runtime tools.
So I feel like you should lead that charge. You're passionate about it. You're extremely knowledgeable. So I wait for you to take the banner and run with it. We've got some friends piping up in the audience. Engineer Wannabe says, "I'm so happy for TypeScript. All tools where for Python were like a year ago." So as a dev, you do want to see the tooling, quickly mature. You do want the agents to support it. So I think kind of for the average, project where you're like, I just need to get a lot of things done. The fact that the models are getting very good at TypeScript I think is a good thing. And then Engineer Wannabe also says Effect TS, which I haven't tried. Tim Culverhouse has joined us. Tim, thanks for joining. Hello, friends. Back to you as well. Engineer says, I'll be happy to divorce via your app one day. No, hopefully you never need my app. So it's like, I hope none of my friends or loved ones ever need my app. So, okay. So those were our two news stories. We talked about Mistral dropping a new model, DevStral 2, and their new CLI coding agent, Vibe CLI, which is fun. I actually tried it, and it's great to see more competition.
Anything that stood out there, or?
The onboarding was nice. It's got this sort of full screen TUI feel, which was kind of cool and interesting. And then you just pop in your API key, which you can sign up for free at Mistral and get some basic inference for free. So it was a nice onboarding experience. I'm spoiled, I think, by AMP and Opus 4.5. So, some of it felt a little slow, a little less intelligent, but I think at AMP, we just live and breathe this stuff, 14 hours a day, and we've been working hard on it. So I would expect, AMP to be really good. So, yeah, but always happy for new competitors in the space. So, so that is our news. If you're listening, don't forget, I'm going to say a secret word, and hopefully you were listening at the beginning of the show, so you know what that word is. If you hear it, then you're going to have 60 seconds to type it into a URL to win $500 of AMP credit. And we're going to be doing some other fun sections as well next. Morty says, Claude has been really good with Rust. Looking forward to Mojo 1.0 though. Are you writing any Rust these days, Dario?
I have written enough Rust to stay away from Rust.
Fair enough. We'll move on. Jasper Kroom says, spoiled by AMP is 100% the vibe out there. Yeah, obviously this is our show, so I'm going to talk about AMP favorably. I love AMP. I mean, the reason why I joined AMP is because, and this was back in August, which feels like 10 lifetimes ago, but the tool is so delightful, and it took away all of this cruft that I was used to in the IDE that I love it. And now I feel like it's even better. And I'm 99% TUI now. So, all right. So if you're calling in, make sure to tell us where you are listening, and from the comments, we'll pop that up. But let's go to our next part of the show, which is Code the Impossible. Will it work? Probably not. We're going to find out. So Dario's going to live code a feature. And the goal here is to kind of show you, real world coding with an agent. Some things will work, some things won't. What does Dario do? What does he not do? How does it work? So let's go ahead and try this out. If you could explain to everybody what it is you're building, and then we'll kind of chit chat through it.
Yep. Just tell me when you can see my screen.
I can see it.
You can see it. Great. So I'm building a toy agent because I realized I know nothing about Java, and Java has seen so much investment. And I toyed with the idea of learning how the JVM works for so long, but I could never deal with the IDEs, and now we don't live in IDEs anymore. So I figured I'll give that a try. And then, of course, what else to build but an agent? And one of the cool things about Java is actually that it ships a super outdated GUI framework that is not actively developed anymore, but it still works.
Wow.
So I had a big fat Java book growing up, which I remember reading in like the early 2000s, and it already mentioned that GUI framework. And I think after that, it stopped being actively developed. It has all of the basics. So this is actually all written in Java.
Wow. So on the right, we have a coding agent that you built, and it's written in Java.
Yes, it's written in Java. It has one tool. It's a bash tool.
It's a cute little, agent.
It's pretty fast with Gemini
as well. And so on the left, you have AMP running in.
No, not yet, but now I do. So this is AMP as we know it. So that's how it works. I don't have any tests yet. I don't have any. I don't have a lot of things. What I did have AMP build me is a little like dev server that just recompiles stuff automatically as it changes.
Nice.
So let's see what we have here. So there's a little command palette, but I feel like the borders are off.
Okay.
Yeah. So maybe we should change that.
Cool. Why don't you bump up the size a tiny bit for me?
Of this window?
Yep.
Yeah, it's not possible.
Okay. Forget about it.
I told you it's dated.
That's fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Alrighty. So let's see. So I just paste a screenshot in here because it's always good for the agent to see stuff.
Okay.
So let's say you can see that the border of the picker input panel. So I know it's called the picker because I asked it to build the picker. Is not matching the size of the border of the command palette itself. So let's see how that's going to.
All right. So you're saying you can see that the border of the picker input panel is not matching the size of the border of the command palette itself.
Yeah. So here we have a fat border, and this is a thin border, and then.
Yeah, it's interesting because though you didn't explicitly tell it what to do, which is interesting. And now it's saying, I see the issue.
Yeah.
The content panel. Okay, so walk us through what AMP is doing here.
I don't know what AMP's doing, and I'll start caring about this once the result is in. So, here it is. Let me make this bigger and then pop this up in front again. Okay, it's not quite there yet. Oh, different window. Cool. Is that how it works?
What is happening?
Oh my god! It's actually just creating. It's just creating overlaid windows. I didn't know that.
But the border is thicker now, right?
The border is
no.
Well, this is how I can find out.
Okay, craft and chaos, everybody. This
is not quite. You know what? Actually, that's not quite it. Make the border of the palette itself as thick as the border of the input.
Okay.
Let's see how that's working. And then here you can see thing restarting. And speaking about the runtime introspection thingy while AMP is working, I actually had AMP. I need AMP to have a feedback loop so it can inspect the state of the running application. So it actually built a little command line for the running program.
Oh, cool.
So that way I can see the state of the agent. I can get the last message.
Oh, wow.
Okay, and it's done. That doesn't really, I don't know, doesn't look quite like it.
It looks a little thicker. So while you work on that, I'm going to read out some comments from the crowd.
Oh yeah, please.
So Pre-Nova says, I use Zig with Odin for cross compilation. And then Engineer Wannabe says, AMP with Opus 4.5 is great. I fly with it, but it's expensive, at least for us South Americans. And if an open model gets me 70% there, I'd be happy. It totally makes sense. I think it might kind of bifurcate into, hey, I can get a lot of the work done with this cheaper model, and then I either want to finish it or plan it with a more expensive model. We've also got some friends joining from Brazil. Raphael, good to see you. All right, so where are we at, Dario? What is?
I'm still busy trying out things. So
Nerd.
Yeah, it's doing that. I tend to not meddle with the agent too much.
Yep.
I just keep an eye on the context. So if this gets to like 30-40%, then it's danger territory, and I'll stop it no matter what it's doing at the moment.
Interesting. And do handoff, or what we do?
I've mostly started using the thread references instead of handoffs. Before that, I was very heavily into handoffs. So, well, that looks terrible, but also good.
It's thicker.
It is thicker, yeah.
All right, so remind everybody what you're trying to do. So if they're just kind of paying attention all of a sudden, what is it?
Yeah, I just want to make it look more visually consistent, but obviously this is not how you make it visually consistent.
Because that's the command palette that you've opened.
Yeah, that's the command. That's the very in-your-face command palette. Okay, actually, how about we do something crazy, and because this is crazy already.
Let's do it.
And I'll just ask it to. So we spent a lot of context already, so I'm just going to start a new thread. So now this is what I use now instead of handoff. So if you just hit enter in a new thread, it immediately says like, okay, following, and then the thread ID. So, and then it will read the thread automatically. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to tell it like, hey AMP, I just noticed that the command palette is a new top level window. This is surprising.
Why is that?
I'd like it to be a regular view in the existing window.
This is surprising.
Yeah, we've built some view classes.
I love it. While you type that, so it's interesting because Engineer Wannabe is saying that they would have actually gone back to the original message and sort of reverted the thread back. Which is
I never do that.
You never do that?
No, I never understood the appeal of like going back.
Oh, I did. So I do this occasionally. So if I notice that AMP goes down a rabbit hole where I'm like, oh, wait a second, either I wasn't clear or it misunderstood, or it's usually never wrong. Now it's more me not being clear about what I want. So sometimes if I'm like, oh, I didn't specify that good enough, I'll hit tab, go back up to the previous message, click E to edit, specify a little better, and hit enter. And I use that, a couple times a day probably.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I think in threads and not in messages.
So you're just too cool to do that,
Yeah, I mean, first of all, you have to like scroll back to the first message.
No, you just hit tab. Just hit tab. Okay, so how's AMP doing now?
So it made a plan. I have, as I said, no clue about this like GUI toolkit. So apparently it just needed to use a different like widget. Also, I had to kind of like build browser navigation because there's a settings screen.
Oh, interesting.
But yeah, it's making changes, and you can see the reload happening. So this is the like dev server running in the background that detects file changes, recompiles the application, and starts it again and dumps the state before. So
cool.
That it stays. And AMP came up with all of this. I literally just like, I need a feedback loop, and then after the restart, it would show me an empty view, and it's like, well, that's not good.
Right.
Let's add some persistence, and then start adding persistence.
But
one thing I wanted to find out is like, how does modern Java look like in terms of readability? And to be honest, I'm quite pleased, because as you can see, like scrolling by here already, it's like there is very little like overhead now in terms of programming artifacts that you don't want to look at.
It looks pretty clean.
Yeah, it looks very clean. That was actually the main instruction I gave it in the beginning, just like only focus on the newest Java version, and we're not writing this with an IDE. Write it in Unix style, whatever that means. And
it's impressive. I haven't written Java since like college. I mean, that was like the year 2000 or something. So
yeah, it's come a long way, but it still doesn't have JSON in the standard library. So AMP decided to write a JSON parser for me, and I resisted not.
I love it. What does play done sound?
Oh, that's from my main, like my users agents MD file. So when I have a lot of, right now the sound is turned off because I got annoyed by the sample it's playing. But it, like if I have AMP working, I think it's more of a thing of the past, like when you have a process set up so that AMP is like working on something for an hour or so, then this is really helpful to hear that it's done. But now, well, those days are over.
Yeah.
So I don't really need it. So let's see. Oh, that looks much better. Let's see. Does it pass the? Oh, it's one window. Nice.
Okay.
Great.
It's not multiple top level windows.
It's not multiple top level. And now I don't mind the border not being there anymore. So good.
Code the impossible.
Take a cookie.
So let's talk a little bit about the other day when you had a push happen, and you didn't want it. How have you tried to protect yourself from?
Yeah. So you saw that there were no permission pop-ups. So while I built permissions in AMP, I really don't use them. So because I don't want to like approve stuff all the time. I believe more in creating an environment in which the agent is safe to do things.
Yep.
Can bump into guardrails. And I keep most of my guardrails in Git hooks. Obviously in this project, there are no guardrails, but in the AMP project itself, I have a pre-commit hook that runs all of the tests, and I have a pre-push hook, which also runs the extra suite of tests that are a bit slower that we run in CI.
Okay.
So when we were trying out Gemini, AMP actually for the first time ever since May tried to push without me asking it to push.
Yeah, you're like,
after commit, you need to push. Let me push.
Yeah.
So my commit hooks and pre-push hooks saved me here in a way, because they like in the end everything passed, so I didn't push out crap, and if something would have been off, like a broken test, it would not have gone live. But after that, I got a tiny bit scared, and I extended my permissions list. So now I have it ask anytime it wants to push.
Same. Yeah, I changed that as soon as you mentioned it.
Yeah. And this dangerous command, that's just for like testing permissions when people report issues with permissions. But yeah, it's a very permissive. Everything is allowed except git push and bulk deletions.
Totally. Love it. All right. So that concludes Code the Impossible, including building an agent in Java and then updating some of the front end. So well done. Well done doing that live. It only went slightly wrong, which is where the chaos comes in. So, but everyone who's watching knows this is what it's like coding, right? And not everything goes well. So Connor has arrived and said, a little late. How many times has Dario brought up tmux?
I've not used the word.
Shockingly,
it was on my screen.
But we have a special sticker. There it is, the tmux sticker. Hopefully it will appear lots of times as you talk about it.
In fact, you mentioned it first, Ryan.
I know. So what's funny is you got me in Tmux. I absolutely loved it and love it. But since I've kind of like shied away a little bit now, and tend to use divided panes and ghosty, but it's not. I know it's
No.
not as powerful. It's just not as fun. So I'm probably gonna go
Okay,
back.
I have a fun thing to show you though. I don't know whether my
Ooh,
screen is on. Is it or?
there we go.
Okay, nice. So actually, somebody, Igor on Twitter, actually X, whatever it's called now, he wanted to have the ability that AMP can start a new thread that he can continue interactively. So I have some custom instructions in AgentsMD.
Okay.
Well, technically, it's a skill, but that's a topic for the future. So don't want to like hint at it too much, but basically, if I say spawn a servant to add the key bindings to entries in the command palette. I call it spawn a servant so that AMP doesn't use its built-in subagent tool.
Oh, interesting.
And then
look at that spawn servant.
Yeah. So
that's pretty cool.
Let's see whether it picks up on the servant spawning instead of the subagent.
I think so. I mean, so it's activating a skill, right?
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Good. So
hey.
So it started AMP in a new Tmux pane and generated a prompt and injected that prompt using Tmux send keys.
Oh my god, that's pretty cool. Okay.
And that's like a full-blown AMP instance, so I don't need to worry about about stuff there. And then
I feel like we need the Tmux sticker for that. So Dan, hit us with the Tmux sticker. There we go. Hey, whoa, we get it big. That's hilarious. All right, cool. So that was Code the Impossible. Dario, thanks for being a solid sport on that. We are gonna head to our next section, which is prompts. It's a prompts and questionable judgment. Here we go. We're actually gonna battle two different prompts on the same task. So I'll let Dario pull this up. And the goal here is just to kind of show everybody like how much difference does the prompt actually make on the same task. And so we're going to be doing this on Tim Culverhouse's new tool called Prize, which is his own take on Tmux. And it's open source. And
yep, I have it ready.
Okay.
We have two amps.
2 amps.
Yeah, right. 2 amps.
Why don't you talk through these two prompts?
Yeah, so I'm in the Prize repo, which kind of works like Tmux, but it's not quite there yet. But I know that Tim will take it all the way, and then it will be much faster than Tmux. So on the left, it's just like, tell me about this repo. It's like a very simple prompt to get an idea of what's happening here. And on the right, we ask AMP to use the librarian, a specialized subagent, to actually like go deep into the code and see what's going on there. So I'm going to run both, and then we can see the different results.
Dun, dun, dun. And these are both using Opus 4.5.
Yeah.
Tim wants a Prize sticker, by the way. So Tim, we can probably.
So you can see that the without the specialized subagent, it's like much faster. Prize is a terminal multiplexer like Tmux, written in Zig, targeting modern terminals. Okay, yeah, that's it. That's all true.
It's alpha software. Watch out.
Yeah. So built on libghosty, to which Tim contributed a lot, and libaxis, which Tim wrote, and Lua, which Tim didn't write. So Tim, I think you need your own programming language to complete the sequence. So yeah, now the librarian finished, so it took more time, but notice we used less context because the librarian is a subagent. It has its own context window.
Oh yeah.
So it only reports the result back to the main agent. So that's one thing. The other thing we can see is that on the left, we only got like very basic information like, oh, I looked at the dependencies. I looked at some of the files in here. and like none of this is surprising, I'd say, or that valuable.
Yep.
Whereas the output of the librarian, I find, is way more detailed in terms of like that it shows the performance focus, and the configuration feedback is more detailed. Like Lua configuration for everything: key bindings, themes, UI. It just is like UI, tiling, window management. The Lua dependency is mentioned here, but not there. Otherwise, comparable, but I think it's also a function of the size of the repo. So price is still pretty small.
Yep.
In that sense. So
yeah, I find so part of the reason why I chose these two prompts is to encourage everybody watching to really know the tooling of your agent. So whether using AMP, you can use amazing subagents like the librarian or the Oracle, or if you're using a different agent that has its own subagents, is to really know what they do and how they work, and then utilize them. Because I think I use the librarian all the time, because you get much more detailed, much more valuable information out of a repo. And I'll use this all the time, when I'm trying to use, for instance, if I'm using something from a library that's open sourced, and I know I need to understand exactly how it works, and the AMP needs to do it, use the librarian for that. And it's very good. Starting to get some comments in the librarian. Prenova says the librarian is my most loved subagent. And Engineer Wannabe says, or the painter. So which subagent are you tending to use the most in AMP?
Oracle.
The Oracle.
But now with Opus, I find myself using the subagents less and less. Like the Oracle is always for I'm at wit's end. Please help.
Totally.
When I call it the Oracle.
Yeah, but I've had to use Oracle very little since Opus 4.5 came out. I tend to use it as just like another viewpoint. Like, hey, can you have a look at what we did, just to get another viewpoint of how we implemented this. But I haven't found many like hard to solve bugs yet that Opus 4.5 doesn't seem to figure out. So we'll see where it goes. So okay, so that was prompt Duel at Dawn. Hopefully it gave you all the idea of the importance of knowing your subagents and whatever agent you're using, and using them when appropriate. And then let's give everybody else one more prompt tip that you tend to stick by besides telling the agent to have a cookie.
I usually try to be very explicit about what is the desired outcome, but not how to get there.
Got it.
If I know how to get there myself, and I have the patience to type it out or use dictation to write it into the model, then I usually use rush mode. So
interesting. Can tell everybody how rush mode works?
Yeah, rush mode has, I think it's based on Haiku at the moment. So that uses a faster but dumber model, and it's really, really fast, which is great. So for like simple stuff where it's just like carry out the sequence of steps. It's like install all dependencies and run the program and run a test, for example. So these are clear instructions. It's not an outcome in terms of like, I want the environment to work, but it's like, do this, then do that. So this, like, it thought for almost no time. You can see like most of the time is spent now in actually like building stuff.
Cool.
Yeah.
So be explicit and specific about the outcome you want, but not how to get there.
Yeah. And if you do know how to get there, then you can leverage a faster but dumber model.
Like a rush.
Like rush, cool. Yes. And here you can see it even picked up that it needs to install the Lua language server.
Cool.
And it even figured out that it should use brew. And if that fails, we're on Linux and try apt-get.
Like it. Boom. Yeah. Okay, cool. So everybody, I think it's probably time to talk about the fact that I love Lego a lot. And I think if you love Lego, you should pay attention and snap the screen and enter in the word Lego as fast as you can. You've got 60 seconds to do that. We're going to pick one of you to get $500 in AMP credit. So we'll give you 60 seconds to type in Lego. Good luck. And here we go. Okay, so let's keep going. We're going to talk a little bit about the a new feature that we're shipping. We're not quite ready to show it yet, but we're talking about thread search. Are we going to talk about the look at tool or no?
Yeah. So maybe let's start with the thread search, which is really cool.
Let's do that. So I'm going to play a little intro while you pull it up. So here we go. This is probably fine to show, which is approved by the Office of Premature Feature Oversight. Let's do it.
Cool. Yeah. So we're back to just a little agent thingy that I showed earlier.
Okay.
Where we made changes to the command palette.
Okay.
And the key bindings are like really ugly. So let's start a new thread, and I have a lot of like context now stored in my threads about all the changes we made to the command palette.
Okay.
And I could like go through all of my threads manually and find them and, you know, try to piece that together. Or I can say find threads related to the picker view and picker Java. And then I'll just use that to essentially like see the context.
Cool.
So you can see it's searching for the threads.
Thread.
Okay.
Cool.
Didn't find anything else. That's bad. Maybe search for command palette.
Interesting. I wonder if the picker view maybe wasn't edited. I assume it was.
Okay, now command palette was the right keyword. Lots of threads here. So.
Wow. Oh, neat. Found 14 relevant threads.
Take the recent ones into account for recent changes. Then make it so that the key bindings shown in the command palette are shown.
Palette's one of those words I always spell wrong.
Same here, because there's two ways to spell it and both mean different things. Shown in a column to the left of each entry. Okay, so let's just have it redesign the command palette because this key binding in here, show command palette, is really ugly.
I think it's nice. So for everybody watching, like what's happening here is we're making it easier for you to get the right context into the thread, right? And Torsten, I remember, was talking about this feature where it's sort of like a get blame, but this idea of like, I know I messed with these files or did this thing. I need AMP to go figure out what threads worked on it and then pull those into the context so it understands what's done. So it's working away. Cool.
Yeah, so it pulled out the right context. You can see that here. So it had a list of all the threads related to the command palette, and then it decided to read one specific thread, this one here. Nice. And then that was the refactor we just did. And it used that structure to understand the changes to the command palette. And now it's going through a loop.
Awesome. So everybody watching, why don't you share your prompt tips as well? I know we just did prompt duel at dawn. If you've got some prompt tips that work well for you, pop them in the comments, and then we'll show them up on the screen. Or if you're joining late, let us know where you're calling in from, and we'll share that as well. Okay, so AMP's just kind of cranking away based off of a thread that you used before. You also did something interesting where you don't use handoff, but like you said, just start a new thread, and then I think you hit enter. Is that right?
Yeah, you just hit So if you do new, and then you hit, it tells you press enter to reference the previous thread.
Yep. Boom. And then it can dig into that.
And what do we do? And then you'll see it read the thread.
Cool. Do we know what model we're using to read the previous thread, or is it Opus 4.5?
I would have to look it up.
I bet it's a larger context model, like a Gemini or something. But
yeah, could be.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thanks so much. Did you want to show look at as well?
Oh yeah, look at is also really really cool. So with the look at tool, AMP can actually look at files like PDF files.
Cool.
So for example, what you can do is I have a specification of the JVM in here. It's like a 600-page PDF file, and now with the look at tool, I can tell AMP to look at.
It's perfect for a bedtime reading.
And tell me how difficult it would be to implement a JVM in Go.
Okay. Dun, dun, dun.
Because we live in those crazy times now where you can, as a single person, you can do that. Yeah. So you can see that it found the file. It's now uploading the file to Gemini. So the 600 pages in the PDF file are not going to pollute the context window of the main agent. We still say it like 12%. And it tries to get a specific part of the content out of the file.
Cool. So it's basically spawning. It's a sub agent with its own context.
It's not even a sub agent. It's just a plain old inference call. So
interesting.
Yeah.
But the base 64 file doesn't pollute the main context thread.
Yeah. So it's also useful when you work with a lot of screenshots, because adding the images to the main agent's conversation takes up a lot of tokens in the context. But often you look at a screenshot and you want to compare it to other screenshots, or you're looking for a specific piece of information that just happens to be on that screenshot or on that image, like how are elements positioned relative to each other, or so what's up with the text in the corner. And then the lookat tool can save the context of the main agent by just extracting the information you care about from the image and passing that to the main agent.
So oh, wow. So I have a question, but first, David Clark's wondering, is this only in the CLI or is this in VS Code as well?
This is also in VS Code.
Oh, cool. How do you trigger it in VS Code? Same. You just say look
at it. You just tell it, like, if it has to work with a PDF file, it usually figures it out. With screenshots, both the read tool and the lookat tool work, but the lookat tool depends on the task at hand. Like the lookat tool is more for like summarizing information.
Cool.
So just tell AMP to look at stuff, and then it picks up the lookat tool.
Wow, neat. So in theory, because I use what is this tool? CleanShot as well. And I have CleanShot set to put everything in my downloads folder. So could I say, hey, I've got a screenshot in my downloads folder, look at it, and then that way I don't have to drag it into the context window?
Yeah, actually, yesterday what I did is I hooked up. I had AMP build a little command line program to talk to the WISE API, because that's like kind of the only bank that gives an API to private individuals. And I dumped a bunch of PDF files, all the invoices I got, into one directory, and told AMP to pay them using the CLI it built. And the lookat tool was instrumental to figure out the account recipient, like the recipient information, the amounts, and so on. So
that's super cool.
That made it really, really, really helpful.
I saw you post that in Slack. That Slack is literally paying your bills.
Yeah.
I mean, AMP is literally paying your bills. So Tim's saying it also means the main agent can be good at coding, and lookat can be good at visual stuff.
Exactly.
Awesome. Okay. Well, cool. So that was our feature reveal, where we let you into a couple cool little features that we're cooking on AMP. And so thanks for walking everybody through that, which is the thread search and then the lookat feature as well. So we are going to wind down the show. Everybody, hopefully you entered in the secret word and we're listening very carefully and entered in. to see if you can win $500 in AMP credit. Don't forget to join Build Crew. So if you're coding with agents every day, if this is your world, join a community of a bunch of people like you. Just go to buildcrew.team. It's free. You can be using any agent. You don't have to use AMP, and we'll welcome you in. We also give you $100 of AMP credit as well to get started. So please hop on over. We've got an active Discord as well, and I think over 1,000 members. So don't forget to do that. Also, we're super active on X/Twitter. So if you're using AMP and have feedback, ideas, just tag us, let us know. One of us is always running around on X. So I'm sure you'll see us. So Dario, thanks for pinch hitting for Torsten. Where can people find you on the internet if they want to say hello?
X is the best place at the moment. So if you have any questions about Tmux, why to use it, how to use it, when to use it,
You're the man.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I feel like we should get the Tmux sticker one more time for that. Let's see if we can get it up. There we
go.
The huge Tmux sticker. I love it. Prenova, thanks for stopping by. I see your thanks. Thanks to everybody for watching, for hopping in the comments, keeping it lively. We really appreciate you all. We'll be doing this every week, every Wednesday. And once again, this is the new name for Build Crew Live. It's called Craft and Chaos because writing code is both craft and chaos now with agents. So thanks for stopping by. Next week is the only week where it's slightly different. We've got a huge guest on Next Token, which is David Heinemeier Hansen, or DHH, as you many know him as. He's on Wednesday, so we're doing Craft and Chaos on Tuesday next week. So make sure to tune in on Tuesday next week, same time, same place, and then we'll be recording DHH's interview on Wednesday, which we'll release. So we're just trying to bring you the cutting edge of coding with agents and working really hard to build the world's best agent. Abdullah, see you tuning in. Thanks for that. Dario, thanks again. Thanks to our production crew behind the scenes making this great. And with that, I think we will call it. Take care, everybody, and have a good Wednesday.